Episode 2. Welcome. I should have probably started with a hook, but every now and then I'm absolutely tired of this, and I bet that you feel the same way. But yeah, I need to start with a hook anyway, so I'm sorry. Your brand messaging might not be bad at all. It might just be answering a question nobody asked. You are saying we are premium, we are innovative, we are customer first, and your audience is asking, cool, but does this actually solve my problem? Because believe me or not, customers do not wake up thinking, I really hope this brand presents its core values today. So maybe your copywriting skills are not the problem. Maybe your brand is talking about itself too much. Most brand strategies start inside the company. A meeting is scheduled, a deck is opened, then someone says, "We need to sound more human." And then another person says, "What about bold but approachable?" And then around 3 weeks later, the brand sounds like LinkedIn broderie. Because brands do not live inside Google Slides, right? They live inside people's heads, and people's heads are messy places, at least mine is. And they contain worries, habits, Reddit threads, and half-remembered TikToks. And that is one of the reasons why strong brand strategy doesn't begin with what do we want to say. It begins with what are people already saying? So today I have a little workflow for you. And luckily the workflow itself is rather simple. So if you want to run a successful brand audit, you shouldn't start with your brand. Yes, I know, this may be difficult because I assume that your brand has been patiently waiting in the lobby. It has brought a brand book. It is wearing that approved shade of blue. But trust me, it can wait. Because no matter what, you need to start with your audience. You need to check what are they worried about, what are they trying to achieve, what questions do they keep asking, and what language do they naturally use so you can resonate with them. And please, do not just write flexible Sarah 34 enjoys yoga and values authenticity. Because Sarah is not a person. Sarah is a hostage in a marketing template. Real people are much more inconsistent. They want premium quality with a discount code. They want convenience and control. They want expert advice, but will still trust a stranger called Snagdat88. And this is why, surprise, surprise, social listening is so important, because it reveals tensions behind all these behaviors. Next, let's look at the category. So what makes people choose? And no, not what your website wants to make them choose. So let's focus on what do they repeatedly discuss. Let's take baby food as an example. Parents may ask, when should my baby start solids? Are purees better than baby-led weaning? Is store-bought food safe? And these are not random questions. They reveal the real drivers: reassurance, safety, trust, practical guidance, control. In other words, parents are not looking for an elevated feeding experience. They are trying not to destroy a human being before breakfast. This is the emotional reality of the category. So if your brand keeps talking about beautiful packagings while your customers are worried about safety, it might be a listening problem. But worry not, we've all been there. And the good news are that now you can look at the brand, because we'll be talking about the so-called perception gap. So let's focus on some useful questions. What do people associate with us? What do they praise? What do they complain about? What do they never mention at all? Because the truth is that brand can be famous and still misunderstood. It can be trusted but perceived as boring. It can be premium but mostly discussed during the sales period. And it can be even innovative but somehow still giving the fax machine energy. And that's the perception gap. So to put it simply, the perception gap is the distance between what the audience wants, what the category words, what the brand wants to stand for, and what people actually believe. And the gap is where the strategy fix is. Because let's say that the audience wants expert reassurance, and the brand gives them inspirational, visually aesthetic lifestyle content. Beautiful, emotional, and completely unhelpful. And we all need to remember that a useful brand audit doesn't end with "we need more engaging content," because that sentence means nothing. It should end with a clear communication task, because maybe you need to build trust. Maybe you need stronger proof. Maybe you need to own a topic your competitors currently dominate. Or maybe you need to stop saying innovative until you can explain what has actually been innovated. We need to keep in mind that the best brands don't invent conversations from scratch. They keep discovering the ones already happening, and then they try to earn a meaningful place inside them. Because brand perception can't be created in a workshop. It is built in every comment, recommendation, or complaint. And the brand book tells you who you want to be, but the audience tells you who you currently are. So yes, you can define your brand internally, but remember that the market gets the final edit, because your positioning is the intention and perception is the result. So hopefully I gave you some food for thoughts, and if you would like to apply it to your own case, Brand 24 prepared a pretty cool and free worksheet that will walk you through this whole process step by step. So yeah, you can grab it in the description, and it would be cool if you could let me know in the comments what's the biggest perception gap you've ever seen. Thanks, and see you soon.